Grab your pickaxe and take a seat, Minecrafters. It's time for guests, games, interviews, and more. Welcome to MineTV.
It's Friday, February 38th, and you are on the second episode of MineTV with your host, Sasha Varel, Markillian, and Starzy. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I don't know.
Pretty awesome.
It's a little funky.
This 5.3 update definitely added a lot of stuff. Although it kind of brings to mind, I had a message from somebody earlier the other day that was asking if they thought griefing was a legitimate sport in Minecraft.
That's
So
a bit of an interesting topic, I guess.
It's like, how would you even make griefing into a sport?
Well, I honestly think it has become a sport. I mean, so many people take part in it, and they take pride in it, and they get teams together.
Yeah.
So,
It's pretty funny because I've never seen that in a game besides like Minecraft, where essentially making someone mad is like a legitimate activity.
The only other game I ever saw anything even close to that was in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, where people would form teams of griefers to go out of their way to disrupt the game, although admittedly with Left 4 Dead it's a lot easier. There's so much team orientation that disrupting it's not really much of a challenge.
Yeah. I don't know about a legitimate sport though. That's
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get sponsors for griefing.
yeah.
Still, with 1.3...
you never know.
Yeah, really. Could happen one day. Well, the thing about 1.3, though, they definitely added a lot of neat stuff this go-around, with the tripwires, the writable books, for journals and messages and that kind of thing. Of course, a pile of bug fixes and performance improvements that I think will definitely improve the game going forward. And, I don't know, I just think, in a lot of ways, the game is evolving for the better as we go forward.
Yeah, and now with in-game currency and actual trading just in vanilla, it's going to be pretty interesting, I think. See how that goes.
Definitely. Well, we have decided to go ahead and skip the video minute for the day because of inclement weather. Unfortunately, the video got rained out, so we're going to have to wash it out of the flood gutter and bring it back later. But that's okay, because today we have a very special guest coming on the show. We have YouTube personality, video maker, tutorial maker, let's player, and all kinds of other goodies-er, Direwolf20, who is down in the service tunnel. Where are you at, Dire? There he is.
Hey, how's it going, Sach?
Doing great. How about you?
Starzy, Mark, how's it going?
Hello. Pretty good. How are you?
Hello.
Excellent.
Good.
All right, Dire. So, for the people who may not be familiar with your series over much, what's some of the things you cover and do videos about?
Mostly my YouTube channel is dedicated to Minecraft mods. All forms of client mods and single-player mods for the most part, and even do some multiplayer stuff too.
Awesome. Very sweet. It's funny, back when I did a video on Red Power 2 that Elrond produced, I think that was the first time I really discovered the depth of Direwolf's videos, because I went to watch a number of them that he did for Red Power, and I don't think I would have figured it out without him.
Let me hold you guys for a second. We're getting a little feedback on the stream.
Oh, are we?
I think that's Mr. Direwolf.
No. Technical difficulties.
Just to not annoy all the people that are yelling in the chat.
Well, I think some people might log in specifically to get annoyed, masochists.
A little bit, yeah. It's a joy in the live show.
Yeah, really. What can you
Is
do?
it better now? Because I've had my microphone muted.
Yeah, off and on.
Yeah.
Should be fine. As long as I don't talk over you, should be alright.
Alright, yeah. No, I'm good.
Cool deal. Alright, there's also a Let's Play series I know that's a huge draw for a lot of your viewers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's currently in Season 4. I've done 4 seasons of a Let's Play. They've always had a lot of different mods installed. And there's just a huge list of mods. It's almost too much to list, between Industrial Craft and Build Craft, Red Power, Thumbcraft, tons and tons more. Where basically I start off in a survivor world, and it's all legit, no cheating, and I pretty much just more or less try and showcase all the mods and all the different things they can do and all the different powers they have, and try and keep it entertaining. And it's like almost half tutorial, half Let's Play, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah, it's really good stuff. And last I checked, you had, over 60,000 followers on that channel. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised myself, to be honest with you. I've never expected when I started doing YouTube videos that I would have more than 100 or 2. And now all of a sudden I have this huge number of subscribers, and I'm kind of blown away myself.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, I think, when you start to develop a following, and in a lot of ways, it kind of takes off on its own. There hits a sort of, I don't want to call it event horizon point, but a critical mass point where the followers just carry their own momentum and start gathering up other people like an avalanche. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I kind of got a little bit lucky too. I started doing mod spotlights and Let's Plays with mods. I was kind of, I think, one of the earlier ones to really do much with that. So the fact that there were a lot of Minecraft videos out there that a lot of people enjoyed watching, but a lot of them were all vanilla. And then to have one that is the same thing, it's still Minecraft, but now it's a little different because there's all these different mods, I think was a little bit part of my luck in becoming popular. But that's just a guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's pretty awesome. So, have you had a chance to play with 1.3 much?
I have not. None of the mods are updated yet.
Fair point. Yeah, it's mods, I think, in a lot of ways have essentially become the lifeblood of this game. We've all played vanilla, over the last, year or 2 years or so. And I think, we were talking about this the other day, that there sort of comes a point when you've been building stuff in vanilla, or you've spent hours mining or days mining, and put together a skyscraper or a castle or whatever the case may be, and you sort of kind of get burned out on the original game, but people have added so much to it. Modders like Alrum and Rizugami and guys like that have just put so much into Minecraft that it almost becomes a whole new game in its own right.
Yeah, it's funny. Some people even almost consider Minecraft to just be like a base template for people to build upon, and a lot of people almost look at it like that. Like there's the core game itself, and then once you start getting into mods, it's almost overwhelming the amount of changes that can get put in there. And the mod authors have done incredible work. I mean, some of the things that I've seen these mod authors put together. If you're looking for visual impressiveness, the ones to check out are Thaumcraft, which just the particle effects in that are shocking. If you've never seen Thaumcraft, it's one of the ones you want to check out just to see. You wouldn't believe that it was Minecraft producing these kinds of graphics and visual effects as you're activating the different spells and different effects in the game. And then another one was Steve's Carts, which recently got updated. It's a mod based around mine carts, and some of the animations on the mine carts that he adds to the game are really impressive. The mod author is VSWE.
Cool.
Pretty cool guy too.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with the Steve's Minecarts one. What's it about a little bit?
It basically adds a ton of different carts to the game, almost 20 of them. The more basic ones can mine for you and can lay carts out and lay down tracks. Some can harvest wheat and trees and that kind of thing. They're all powered by coal, and some of the more advanced ones are solar powered. And then the most advanced one is actually called the assembly cart, and it's almost kind of like a GUI-based programming language where you can program in specific actions with if-then statements and for loops. It's the most convoluted thing you'd ever imagine possible in a minecart, but once you open it up, it's incredibly intuitive, and you're like, wow, that is really shocking the way he put that together.
That is awesome. I love that stuff.
And it works really well with Railcraft, by the way, too, which is another minecart-based mod. So if you're a big fan of the different rails and tracks and minecarts, Railcraft is one to check out as well. It works really well together with Steve's Carts.
Yeah, Railcraft is an interesting one. We had some interesting heated debates about that the other day. I love that it adds so much, the high velocity rails and just the myriad options you have available. But at the same time, it's a little bit daunting if a person hasn't gotten into it and understood the depth of the complexity of assembling all that stuff. It's interesting. It's quite a challenge.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. That's kind of what I go for on my channel on YouTube, is to kind of explain the mods and break them down in a very simple and basic format, and just say like, look, here's the basic blocks, here's what they do, here's how they interact, and here's the basic gist of the mod. And a lot of my mod spotlights are almost more tutorials in their own right than just spotlighting the mod, so that people both get interested in checking it out and go to download it, and then at the same time figure out kind of how to use it and how it all works together. And some of the more complex mods like Industrial Craft and Red Power 2, I've done actual tutorial series where I just break down like the more complex blocks and just say, here's exactly how you put them together and how they work.
Yep, definitely good stuff. It's sort of like a mod spotlight tutorial, if you will.
So,
Yeah.
this should tie into one of the YouTube or questions we got. What started you on YouTube and spotlighting mods, basically?
One of the first mods I tried was Industrial Craft. which if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a mod all about electricity and industrializing the world of Minecraft. So there's a bunch of machines that generate electricity, there's electrical wiring, and then there's machines that use electricity. And you've got everything from solar panels to geothermal generators to nuclear reactors to create your electricity. And I was playing vanilla Minecraft for a while and really enjoying it, and then I said, all right, let's check out some of these mods and see what this is all about. And I saw Industrial Craft, and it almost completely changed the concept of the game, and I was blown away. I was like, this isn't just like adding a couple little things. This is completely changing the way you play the game, and it's almost a different game in its own right. And then shortly after that, I added a mod called Buildcraft, which at the time was mostly about creating pipes to transport items from one place to another. So you can literally use piping to move items from a chest into a machine and move items around. And when I put the two of them together, I was like, oh, now it's even totally different again. And that is just really what kind of got me excited. And then I started downloading more and more mods and trying out different things. And it was just like a whole new world of Minecraft, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. One of my first mishaps with Industrial Craft was not realizing I had to insulate copper wires, and that's a surprise if no one's done that before.
Yeah, that or forgetting to cool your nuclear reactor. They will explode in a rather impressive way.
While we're on the topic of mods, a very common question that we're getting on Twitter is, what is your favorite mod out of all of the ones that you have played with?
You know what? I always say that's kind of hard to answer because I'm friends with a lot of the mod authors. And it actually changes almost on a regular basis. Early on, I would have said it was Industrial Craft. Then I probably would have moved on to Red Power, which is another huge and very game-changing mod. Recently, I've been really enjoying Mistcraft. Anybody who's familiar with the Mist books or the Mist series, it's actually a mod that allows you to craft your own dimensions and pretty much, you know, instead of just having the Nether as another dimension in the end, you have you can create your own other dimensions that you can jump to and from, and you can even customize them and choose what biomes are part of the dimensions, and even other crazy things like weather effects. There's just so many, it's really kind of hard to pick a favorite, and you know, they're all really good. Basically, I would say my favorites are the ones that I use on a regular basis.
Fair point. Yeah, Mistcraft I haven't heard of yet, but I definitely got to look into that. That sounds really interesting.
It really is.
Just kind of an odd question I'd gotten sent too. Were you ever planning on maybe doing, I think you actually have now that I think about it, live stream shows of your Let's Plays?
I haven't done any of the Let's Plays yet. I've participated in a couple live streams that a couple of my friends that I've become friends with over time have been doing. I'm actually planning to live stream this coming weekend for the CubeTubers event where they're raising money for the Child's Play charity. So I'm planning to live stream then, but I haven't, sorted out the exact details yet, but I have a pretty good idea of what I'm planning to do.
Fair point. Yep, and for anyone who's not familiar with that, the CubeTubers Child's Play charity event is going to be going on this weekend. I believe August 5th, if I remember correctly, or no, August 3rd. Yeah, starting Friday. And it runs for 48 hours straight. They're going to be generating funding for the Child's Play charity. Of course, Direwolf will be a part of that, as well as a number of other prominent personalities. So definitely check that out. We'll include links to that as well. You wanted to talk about the CubeTubers charity a little bit, if I recall.
Yeah, no, I just really wanted to make sure people were aware of it. Child's Play is an amazing charity. They started a while back. The Penny Arcade is a website that was originally, it's a gamer's comic, a web comic. And back in the day, a lot of people, and even still some today, regard video gamers as just like this weird group of people who aren't really all about helping others. And they sought out to change that, and they started the Child's Play charity. And their basic goal is to supply hospitals around the country with video games and entertainment devices so that any young kids who happen to be in the hospital are, have the opportunity to play and be entertained and just kind of help them throughout that process, which is usually a pretty tough time in their lives. So the Child's Play charity is a great thing, and they were blown away their first year with the amount of donations they received, Child's Play, and it's just been going ever since. And this weekend's CubeTubers event is just one person who decided, hey, let's try and get a bunch of Minecrafters together to watch a 48-hour live stream and try and raise donations for that charity. So I'm hoping to participate as much as I can and help out, and it's a great thing to do. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. Child's Play has most certainly become synonymous with the Good Samaritan at this point over the years, and I have always been blown away by just how how giving people can be in that situation. Not just gamers in general, but even Minecrafters especially. It's incredible how much they'll come together with that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The gaming community is really great.
Yep. Let's see here. Well, speaking of mods, I probably want to get some modders on here in the future. I'm kind of wondering though, with 1.3, they merged the single player and multiplayer aspect of the game into a single engine now, which should, in theory, simplify things for modders quite a bit. Although I'm wondering, how much of the back end has been changed already, and have you talked to any modders yet about, any tribulations or anything they've had trying to update their stuff to 1.3?
Yeah, I have. I'm trying to keep friends with a lot of the mod authors, and they're all really great guys and girls out there. 1.3 is really changing the landscape of Minecraft when it comes to modding. I'm not a programmer myself, at least not a Minecraft programmer, and so I don't understand the behind the scenes of the Minecraft modding, but I do know it's a big culture shift on the way things work, and hopefully once they get over this hump, it would hopefully be easier down the line, but this will be a pretty big hump for modders, and I expect there to be a pretty big delay between the release of 1.3 and any serious mods being ready. The Forge, which is an API which basically makes it easier for modders to work with Minecraft, a lot of work has been done by the Forge community to try and get that API ready as quickly as possible. They've been working off the snapshots they got all week, and they're doing their best to get that up and running, and then the modders themselves need to start updating based on the changes to Forge. And any mods that aren't multiplayer are going to either have to convert to multiplayer or kind of fall by the wayside. Basically, behind the scenes, programming for single player mods is a lot trickier than programming for multiplayer mods, which is why you see a lot of mods out there that are single player only. So anybody that is single player only is now going to have to be a multiplayer mod as well.
Yeah, and that definitely presents its own challenges, especially with balancing and people who find ways to exploit little flaws and loopholes in the program. Just makes life interesting for server hosts, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, definitely. So a lot of mods that are more powerful, like one for example is Equivalent Exchange. There's some really, really powerful items in that mod, to the point where you can literally mine like hundreds of blocks in one click. But it also costs thousands of diamonds to make that item. So it's a very complicated mod, but it's very powerful later on. So what those kind of guys typically do is give server owners the opportunity to change settings and restrict certain blocks, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That definitely has to be one of my favorite mods.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool. Yeah, Equivalent Exchange. It's definitely up there with mine as well. A lot of people say it's overpowered, and hey, in my opinion, sometimes overpowered's a little fun.
It can be, yeah. And of course, as much as you can generate with the EMG and stuff, fact is you got to mine a lot of stuff to get to that point. It's not like it's just a sign into the game and you're automatically generating materials left and right. It's not quite that easy.
Yeah, true, exactly. But there's actually a new version of that coming up soon. The original mod author of Equivalent Exchange is taking a bit of a break, and he's passed off the code base to another mod author named Pahamar, who's running with it now. So he's working hard, and he's actually making a version that is going to probably have some changes in the future.
Cool deal. Yeah, I've definitely heard of Pahamar. He's quite a name in the community, from what I recall.
One of our audience members had a question. If you could create the perfect mod for 1.3, what would you include in it?
Oh, I get that question a lot. A lot of people have said to me, like, hey, I'm a programmer, but I don't have any good ideas. What would you want, Direwolf? And I would say, I have no idea. I have a lot of fun playing the mods, but when it comes to designing the concept of one, oh man, I don't know. There's just so many great ones out there already. It's kind of hard to even imagine. But some of these mod authors really come up with some amazing things. For example, Mistcraft, which I was talking about before. I thought I had seen almost everything there was in modding, and then Mistcraft came around, and it was like, wow, this is completely fundamentally different.
Yeah, the idea of being able to generate dimensions with customizable biomes and whatnot is unheard of. I didn't think that was even possible.
Oh yeah, and you can have almost an unlimited number of dimensions that you can link between, and it really becomes a pretty interesting concept once you start playing with it.
That is pretty awesome, definitely. Yeah, the mod question is sort of a funny one. I know what you mean. It's like when you were asked earlier in the year, what do you want for your birthday, and you have all these great ideas in your head, but as soon as your birthday comes around, you can never put the words to it for some reason. It's sort of the same thing with mods, I think. People ask you, what sort of mod would you want, and you're just kind of left there going, something fun, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea how to answer that question is what I usually tell them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, a question we've been getting on Twitter. Have you ever considered making a server for your fans and you to play on together?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right now I'm doing a multiplayer server play where we basically are on with a bunch of the mod developers and we're testing versions of the mods before they get released. It's kind of almost a test bed server, and it's a great way to, get the bugs cleaned up before they get live. But in terms of doing a server for all my fans, that would be tricky, just because of, having many people on a Minecraft server, as tricky as it is, but then once you incorporate mods and all the different mods that I like to use, it really becomes hard to get a lot of people on the server at a time. So down the line, I think it's something I definitely like to try out, especially after 1.3, 1.4 maybe gets out of the way, but it's nothing I don't have any definite plans yet, but it's something I would absolutely love to do in the future if it becomes more feasible, I guess.
Cool stuff. Another question that we get a lot, and I'm sure you do as well. What's the story behind still having the Steve skin?
It's funny. Earlier on, I just liked the Steve skin. I stuck with it. I didn't have anything in particular that jumped out at me as a skin that I wanted to have. And then it just kind of became like a running gag anymore, like, hey, Direwolf still has the Steve skin. Why is that? And, it's almost to the point now where I feel like if I changed my skin, it would almost be like an affront to some of the fans. So I feel like, let's just stick with it. It is kind of who I am almost anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There comes a point when you're just, that's you. That's how it is.
Yeah, plus I use all these mods and change the game of Minecraft so much when I'm playing it. I want people to look at Steve and be like, all right, at least there's something I recognize.
It is still Minecraft we're playing here.
Oh, yeah.
Did David have any questions for him? David's been quiet tonight.
Mr. David?
Mr. David, I have been very quiet. I've just been listening. I just wanted to know if you had a favourite sort of vanilla feature that was in 1.3 that you've discovered yet or you've heard about.
I'm looking forward to those tripwires. Those are pretty different for the most part. I don't think there's anything particularly in mods that would equate. There is a laser mod. It's called the laser mod, believe it or not. And it has something similar to that, where you can set up a block that emits a laser and then a block that will emit a redstone signal when a laser hits it. So you can almost use it like a tripwire, so that if you walk across it, it flips that laser redstone signal off. But the tripwire is a little bit of a different thing, so I am interested to see how that works and play with it a bit.
Sure. Yeah, lasers. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It seems to tie in with some stuff that Jeb's been working on with for 1.4, or hopefully in mind for 1.4, like with the command redstone block generator and things like that. Certainly seem to be heading into sort of more redstone territory for the first time in a while.
Oh, definitely. And I'd recommend anybody who's interested in playing with redstone and building complicated redstone contraptions. Sach has already mentioned it. It's Red Power 2. That is the basically the redstone mod out there. You can create redstone wires and bundled redstone wiring and a whole bunch of machines that respond and react to redstone in very complex ways. And there's even a programmable computer which is written in a programming language called Forth, and you can program on this computer, which is almost a Commodore 64 emulator, that you can emit redstone signals from based on certain criteria. It gets very in-depth if you want to, but it's also great for beginners because the basic red wire is even just worlds better than vanilla redstone. It can go up walls and around corners and all kinds of crazy things.
To say nothing of the logic gates and whatnot.
Oh yeah, the logic gates too. It's it's almost hard to list all the features of Red Power 2.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when Dyer and myself and Ellerum were all on a server trying to teach my thick-headed self how to run Red Power stuff and computers in particular. One of the things Ellerum had designed was a fully automatic door that looked like warehouse garage doors that opened from side to side, from the middle. And she had programmed the computer in such a way that when she pressed a button, the door just slid open with frames and then shut itself after I think it was like 5 or 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, the frames are one of the most recent blocks added to Red Power 2. They're impressive. It's basically a block that can move any block that touches it, including other frames. So you can build these giant frame contraptions that move through the air and open doors. You can build a frame quarry that literally just mines for you with frames. It's almost like endless what you can do with it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let's see here. Well, it looks like we're almost getting close to wrapping up time, but we're not quite yet done. Stars, have we got any other questions in the audience there?
A common question that we've been getting is, if you were to do more live streams, are you ever going to include a webcam in your live streams?
I get a lot of questions asking for a webcam / face cam type of thing. I don't know. Like, I don't have any plans right now to. I'm a little bit shy about putting my, face up there. Kind of enjoying a little bit of the anonymity. And it's another thing, too. It's almost like, not right now. I don't have any plans to. But, who knows what the future will hold. I have no ideas.
I share your trepidation with putting your face out there. I understand the
I
concern.
totally understand, yeah.
It's not like people could do much with it, but I don't know. I think there's just a certain level of comfort that gets breached there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
but one of the other series that I've been starting recently, by the way, is Wrenched. I don't know if you've had a chance to check that out, Sach.
No, what's it about?
Wrenched is almost like a game show, and I'll be honest, I kind of got the basic concept from a Food Network television show called Chopped, and the basic deal is you've got 4 competitors that come out into this map that we built. It was built by Slowpoke and his map builders team. He's the guy who built the Feed the Beast map.
Yeah.
And the basic gist is 4 players come onto a field, and they all have their own platform to build on. And on each platform is a chest. And inside the chest, there's 4 mystery items. And they're told to walk up to the chest, open it up, check out what the items are, and then they have 30 minutes to build something complicated and crazy and interesting using those 4 items. They have to use those 4. And then they have a shared resource area where they have pretty much all the raw materials in the game that they can go use to build other things with, and they have to build some complicated device. And at the end of the first round, one of them will get wrenched off the map, and it's pretty much whoever builds the weakest machine. And then we move on to round 2, and the remaining 3 have a new set of ingredients to use. It's a pretty fun map. I've really been having fun playing it. I'm kind of the host, and we have 3 judges and 4 new competitors. We're trying to do it weekly, but it's pretty much based on our time frames. And I guess this is the first time I'm announcing this, but our goal for the CubeTubers Marathon coming up is to live stream an episode of Wrenched. We don't have all the details sorted out yet, so kind of take this as a rough draft of what we're going to be doing, but this is for anybody watching the stream. You get to find out. Our goal is to have a bunch of mod authors playing on the Wrenched map, and people like Pahimar and Craft, who's currently maintaining Buildcraft, and a couple other mod authors. And then we're hoping to have some other special guests stop by during the CubeTubers thing as well. Once my time slot is finalized, I'll be making a video to announce when that is. But there'll be a lot of mod authors. We already had Azanor from Thaumcraft promise to stop by and say hi, and a couple other interesting things. So it'll be pretty cool during the CubeTubers event. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
I have to say I've been watching a few of the episodes in that series of Wrenched, and I've loved the massive countdown clock, and it kind of reminded me of like a nerdy build version of the adventure map, The Walls, is it? Where you basically build stuff in a time limit and then just go mental on each other without the destruction. I think that's great.
Thanks. Yeah, the clock was actually made by Tog. He did a lot of work on that clock, getting it looking nice, and it's great the way it counts down. It's a 30-minute countdown with a little seconds hand and represented by red power lights. It's all powered by a red power 2 computer. At some point, we'll definitely get a video up there of how the inner workings of the clock operate.
That'll be pretty awesome to see, definitely. I had one last question on here, and it was, if I can find it, there it is. He was wondering if you would ever do any sort of videos of the Xbox version of Minecraft.
Well, you can't really get mods on the Xbox version of Minecraft, so probably not.
Yeah, there goes the mod bits right there. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
What can you do? Well, it's definitely been an interesting episode so far. We've talked about a whole lot of stuff here, 1.3, a lot of videos, or a lot of mods rather. So be sure to go check all those out if you haven't heard of any of them, or if you have, check them out again. Why not? Of course, we have Direwolf20 here to thank for that. Be sure to check out his videos as well. The tutorials are really good. The Let's Plays are definitely entertaining. And of course, the Chopped Variant show is highly amusing. Definitely worth a look there. So be sure to check in again next week for MineTV Episode 3. We'll have a special mystery guest and all kinds of other good stuff. But we definitely want to thank you for being on the show today, Dyer. It's been really cool having you here.
Hey, it's absolutely my pleasure, Sacha Barrel. I really appreciate you offering me to come on and hang out with you guys. It's been a great time.
Good stuff. I also want to thank Mark for hitting me in the face with the snowball, and Starzy for not hitting me in the face with the snowball.
Not a problem.
That being said, oh, and David over there, who has been quietly glaring at me and trying to throw snowballs, I'm sure. You may notice we also have a Toby sit-in there. He had to be away for personal reasons today, but he has a stand-in who is waving at the audience, of course. So, thank you everybody for joining us for the second episode of MineTV. Be sure to check in next week, where the episode time will hopefully be a little bit earlier in the day for our UK and Europe viewers. And thanks for watching.
Make sure to hit that follow button if you want to be notified when we go live for next week.
And we'll be including links, of course. Yep. And we'll be including, of course, links to Direwolf's channel and other goodies in the video description when it's uploaded. So be sure to check that out.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
There you go.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
I'm gonna go get some pizza now.
Thanks, we weren't clear for that yet, but everybody knows you're a little fat now, Omelet.